They spent 4 years not just saying that Trump was the illegitimate president, but that Russia collusion put him in office and that he was the Manchurian candidate, that Russia had so much compromising material on him that he wasn't even an honest American president. And I love this question from Peter Doocy. And look, it wasn't even just 2016. Karine Jean-Pierre, in her own tweets, also accused Brian Kemp, who is going to destroy, I believe, Stacey Abrams in a little over 60 days to eliminate any doubt in their rematch. He's going to win, I think, by 5 or 6 points. I think that is going to be a very comfortable win for Brian Kemp down in Georgia. But that's going to eliminate any doubt. Buck, he won by, if I'm not mistaken, 50,000 votes in Georgia. So everybody talks about how close that election was. The state of Georgia, Stacey Abrams lost the state of Georgia by more votes than Donald Trump lost under our tally that we accept as the truth in the 2020 election.
Fetterman is they're doing the not Bernie Sanders weekend at Bernie's the weekend at Bernie's routine where he's just going to get pushed along, doesn't have to say anything, just vote for the guy who looks like he works at the steel mill. Yeah, just vote for that guy. It's so condescending to have a guy whose parents pay his bills but wears a schlumpy sweatshirt. He's working class. Like, the whole thing. It's just, he's such a phony. Just like Joe Biden, by the way. But this was great. The opposite of lumpy sweatshirt would be shopping at the very high-end department store Nordstrom's, which I have. Yes. I think I've been in one once in my life, and I felt.
No, my wife loves Nordstrom. There's no telling how much money I mean, my wife has spent in Nordstrom over the years.
I've been spending more time. Store. When Carrie wants to go into a boutique or something, I find the fiance/boyfriend/husband chair and just sit down. Yeah. I hop on the
Welcome
Twitter.
To the club.
I've learned my lesson. This is how it goes. But here is Karine Jean-Pierre talking about the latest in international energy policy, etc., including you'll hear it from her.
You've heard us say this, that what we see Russia's doing, and we've been very clear about this, is that they're using energy, they're weaponizing energy, and it's choosing to one of the things that has been out there, to shut down the pipeline of Nordstrom 1.
The Nordstrom pipeline, which, Clay, if you are worried about getting your Manolo Blahniks and your Ralph Lauren Purple Label and your high-end couture.
Hey, your bond number 9, my wife, like this perfume.
You need the Nordstrom pipeline to be open. Not to be confused with the energy pipeline known as the Nord Stream. The Nord Stream pipeline. Yes.
This is funny. And I am certainly not the king of pronunciations. But you would think that what amazes me about Karine Jean-Pierre is Karine Jean-Pierre, however you pronounce her name, KJP, is she gets asked the most expected questions that are possibly imaginable. Buck, you and I could, if we were White House communications advisor, director there, whatever, we're walking out to talk to everybody. There's 10 questions you can expect. If you suddenly get asked about, I don't know, what's going on in Madagascar with coastal battles between developers and natives or something, and I just made that up, but probably that happens. Maybe you don't have a great answer for it. This is a big deal. Europe is in the midst of an energy crisis. You know you're going to get asked about it, and you managed to say Nordstrom instead of
Clay,
the actual pipeline.
If we don't open the Nordstrom pipeline, think of all of the upper middle class women who are going to be wearing last season's shoes. They are going to be stuck with high-waisted jeans. High-waisted jeans are on the way out.
They're out. I understand. The mom jeans are finally done.
You need to open the Nordstrom pipeline ASAP, or else the fashion crimes will be remarkable.
Nordstrom stock has been taking it on the chin lately. now they're getting called out in the White House. Wouldn't have anticipated this. Seattle-based company, if I'm not mistaken, thanks to everybody out there listening to us in Seattle, that is struggling because people can't afford to go into Nordstrom anymore. And they were one of the places, Buck, to tie all this together with the crime discussion, they were one of the places that was getting organized shoplifting.
Yeah, people would steal $100,000 in one
That's right.
in one fell swoop.
All of the high-end things that they sell, people will storm in. So maybe they need the Nordstrom pipeline to be able to make up for all the money they're losing in theft.
It's clear that Democrats really want to make this about Trump and semi-fascism, which is what they refer to Trump supporters, what Biden and his top advisors refer to this as, and also election issues, that our sacred democracy is under assault. These ideas, really more memes even than ideas, these phrases about our sacred democracy, questioning elections, Donald Trump and all those around him who question elections. There was just an interesting exchange that occurred between Clay's favorite ever White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, and Mr. Doocy of Fox News. Listen to this one.
The new attention on the MAGA Republicans. You tweeted in 2016
I knew this was
Trump
coming.
stole an election. You
I was
tweeted-
waiting, Peter, when you were going to ask me that question.
Well, great. Here we go. You tweeted Trump stole an election. You tweeted Brian Kemp stole an election. If denying election results is extreme now,
Yeah.
why wasn't
So
it then?
let's be really clear. That comparison that you made is just ridiculous. I have
How
been
is that
well,
ridiculous?
you're asking me a question. Let me answer it.
And you said it was
Wait,
ridiculous.
I was talking specifically at that time of what was happening with voting rights and what was in danger of voting rights. That's what I was speaking to at the time.
Can we just be clear here, Clay? She's caught. She knows it. Democrats in general have spent years. Hillary Clinton
Decades.
still says the election was stolen from her in 2016. Stacey Abrams goes around as the fake governor of Georgia, telling everybody that she won that election. It was just stolen from her. They do this all the time. And the fact that we're not supposed to notice, I think for some people is becoming a little too much to bear.
They spent 4 years not just saying that Trump was the illegitimate president, but that Russia collusion put him in office and that he was the Manchurian candidate, that Russia had so much compromising material on him that he wasn't even an honest American president. And I love this question from Peter Doocy. And look, it wasn't even just 2016. Karine Jean-Pierre, in her own tweets, also accused Brian Kemp, who is going to destroy, I believe, Stacey Abrams in a little over 60 days to eliminate any doubt in their rematch. He's going to win, I think, by 5 or 6 points. I think that is going to be a very comfortable win for Brian Kemp down in Georgia. But that's going to eliminate any doubt. Buck, he won by, if I'm not mistaken, 50,000 votes in Georgia. So everybody talks about how close that election was. The state of Georgia, Stacey Abrams lost the state of Georgia by more votes than Donald Trump lost under our tally that we accept as the truth in the 2020 election by. So Trump was closer to winning nationwide in 2020 than Stacey Abrams was to winning Georgia alone in 2018. And it just goes to the root hypocrisy here. You should be able to question anything in America. In fact, Buck, and you correct me if I'm wrong here, I think the only election we've had in the 21st century where both sides said, you know what, we accept the result was Obama over McCain in 2008. I think if you go back and look, I think
And probably
every
Obama
side
over
that has
Romney, too.
lost-
I don't think people were claiming that election was stolen either.
I think in 12, some people did say something looks fishy in Ohio. Am I correct? In 12,
okay. There was a
that
little bit, but it wasn't. Okay, fair enough.
It wasn't anything like this. But my point is the elections have been so close for much of the 21st century that every time there's been an election, the side that loses almost always says the other side cheated.
Yeah.
So to act like suddenly in 2020, this is an unprecedented situation, particularly coming as it does, Buck, off the most aggressively questioned election of my life in 2016, where Hillary Clinton has gone around for years arguing that the election was stolen from her. Why in the world would it suddenly be unacceptable to argue that the 2020 election was stolen, which, by the way, it was, if only you focus, Buck, on the mail-in balloting laws being changed, on the rig job between big tech. You want to talk about collusion between big tech and everybody else out there in the media to cover up the Hunter Biden story, and using COVID as a cudgel, as if somehow Trump was to blame for COVID happening. That was a rigged election beyond a shadow of a doubt. Trump would have won if the media had been honest in covering merely the Hunter Biden story, just by itself.
And they've convinced their supporters, the Democrat base, that there should be really two sets of rules about this, meaning that not only can they can question elections, they can support riots when it suits them, like BLM.
Yes.
There's a two-tiered system of justice in this country that we really need to address.